On the side of the vehicle, the first thing on the list is your lenses. So you're going to point to the headlight lens up here, that reflector right there, the lens right here, the lens on the mirror, and also the lens on top of the cab. And then you're going to point to that little reflector back here at the splash guard back there. You'll mention that all the lenses are all clean and clear, not cracked at all. None of them are loose or missing at all. There's no missing nuts or bolts at all. And here at the headlight too, it's clean, clear, not cracked at all. You may also mention that there's no loose or hanging wires. You don't want to see that at all. And then you'll say that all the lenses here on the side of the vehicle are securely mounted and they're the proper color amber. This thing called traffic monitoring devices. So for new vehicles, they have cameras inside the cab and sensors on the outside and cameras on the outside of the truck and also the trailer. We only have mirrors. So in our instance here, we're just going to address the mirrors. So you'll mention that the mirror right here and the mirrors right here, they're all clean and clear, not cracked at all. None of them are loose or missing at all. You'll talk about these arms right here and up there and also over here. You'll mention that the metal's not cracked, bent, or dented at all. Also, the mirrors are not sagging or loose at all. There's no missing nuts or bolts up here or up here at all, and also over here at all. The mirror here and the mirrors here are securely mounted. The battery and also the battery box. So starting with the box itself, you'll mention that the box is tight to the frame. It's not loose at all. The metal down here is not cracked, bent, or dented at all. This cap is secured with these two straps right here and over here. The cap is not cracked, bent, or dented at all. And also you'd remove this cap. Once you remove the cap, you would mention that the batteries inside here are secured down. They're not loose at all. They're not bulging, cracked, or leaking at all. Then you'll make sure that all these electrical lines that go into the battery box and onto the battery terminals, they're all connected. There's no missing nuts or bolts at all. There's no corroded, exposed, or loose wires at all. Then you'll mention that the batteries in the box are securely mounted. About the fuel tank here and also the DEF tank here. So starting with the fuel tank, you'll mention that this fuel tank here is securely mounted with these two metal straps. There has to be at least two metal straps. The metal here is not cracked, bent, or dented at all. There's no missing nuts or bolts at all. The tank itself is not cracked, bent, or dented at all. Also, there's no broken or missing welds at all up here. You can inspect all those welds to make sure none of them are broken or cracked at all or missing. And then on the cap here, you'll make sure that the cap is tight. You would loosen that cap to make sure the gas cap seal's in place. It's not worn through, loose, or missing at all. Also, the safety chain is there. And then up on top here, you'll start talking about leaks. You'll make sure that these hoses are connected here and also this electrical line's connected right there. The hoses there and there. There's no abrasions, bulge, or cuts. It's not cracked or leaking at all. Also, where it connects to the tank, there's nothing cracked or leaking here or around here, around the weld here. Nothing's leaking on the top of the tank. This electrical line too is plugged in here at the pump. There's no corroded, exposed, or loose wires at all. As I mentioned, there's nothing leaking on the top of the tank, around the cap, here, around any of the welds at all. Nothing's leaking or puddling on the ground at all. The tank here is securely mounted. About the DEF tank right here, you'll mention that the DEF tank right here is secured to the truck up here. It's not loose at all or sagging anywhere at all. Then you'll mention that the metal is not cracked, bent, or dented at all. Then you'll talk about the hoses that are inside here, connected to the DEF tank right here. There's no abrasions, bulges, or cuts. It's not cracked or leaking at all. This electrical line too is connected. There's no corroded, exposed, or loose wires at all. The plastic here too is not cracked or leaking at all. And then you also mentioned that this cap is tight. You would loosen this cap to make sure the DEF seal is in place right there and the safety chain is right there. The DEF tank is securely mounted. Well, they're going to talk about the frames. So if you're a Class A, you're going to talk about the frame of the truck, but then also the frame of the trailer right here. So starting with the frame of the truck, you'll mention that the frame of the truck is level with the ground. It's not twisted, sagging at all. And if you're a Class A, you'll mention the same for the trailer, that the frame here too, and the trailer is not sagging anywhere at all or twisted anywhere at all. It's nice and level with the ground. Back to the truck here, you'll come up here and you'll talk about these outside members here and also over there. And then all the cross members right here, right over here, and back there. You'll mention that first that there's no loose or missing cross members at all. They're not twisted, sagging, or loose at all. There's no missing nuts or bolts at all. And then I'm going to talk about the condition of the metal, both inside and out here. All these cross members inside and out, and inside and out on the cross members here. You'll mention that there's no sign of repair or legal welds at all. It's not rusted through anywhere at all. The metal's not cracked, bent, or dented at all. And there's also no missing nuts or bolts at all. The frame of the truck is securely mounted. And then you'd go over to the frame here if you're a Class A, and you'll mention that the frame, the metal's not cracked, bent, or dented at all. This header board is straight, it's not twisted at all. There's no broken or missing welds at all. And also, it's strong enough for my cargo. The frame right here, all along here, and the ramps right there, the metal's not cracked, bent, or dented at all. All these deck boards are in place. None of them are loose or missing at all. I don't have any loose or missing screws up here at all. And then underneath the trailer, you don't have to climb underneath the trailer, but you'll mention that I would climb underneath there to make sure that there's no loose or missing cross members at all. There's no broken or missing welds down here at all. There's no broken or missing welds on the side of the trailer at all, or up here at all. The ties here, I don't have any loose or missing ties at all. I have one tie directly across from each one of them. The metal's not cracked, bent, or dented. There's no broken or missing welds at all. The frame of the truck is securely mounted. And then because you have ramps back here, you'll talk about these ramps briefly. You'll mention that they're secured in the drive position with these arms right here and also right here. The metal's not cracked, bent, or dented at all. There's no missing pins or cotter keys at all. Down here at its brackets, there's no broken or missing welds down here at all. There's no loose or missing steps at all. And then also over here, there's no loose or missing springs down here at all. That shaft down here is straight. It's not twisted or sagging or bent or cracked or at all. There's no missing nuts or bolts here at all. And there's no loose or missing cotter key over here at all. You'll see the ramps back here are securely mounted and strong enough for my cargo. And you'd do the same for the trailer. You'd say everything on the trailer is securely mounted and strong enough for my cargo.